Hey everyone. So in this video I'm going to be talking about a slightly more advanced version of controlling your robot. So this will give you a little bit more precise control and will allow you to access more functionality. So I'm going to click into my devices panel and you can see that I don't really have a drivetrain set up. So my team is currently using a 4-motor drive. So if I move over here, so my team is using a 4-motor drive, and what our team did was we created motor groups for each side. So we have a motor group for the right drive, which connected to our appropriate ports, and then we have a motor group for our left drive, which is connected to its specific ports. So the two left motors are in the left drive, and the two right motors are in the right drive. We specifically went with this configuration because our team has experimented with different driving setups, and we found that a tank drive, which I talked about in a previous video, is the most intuitive and easy to control method for our team. This might be different for you guys, so feel free to change this code or use it however you want. But we have a tank drive, meaning each side of the joystick is responsible for controlling its corresponding side of the robot. So here, if I were to, let's make a drawing here. So if this is our VEX robot and it's pointing in this direction, and we have a controller right there. So this left stick is going to be responsible for controlling the left side of the robot, and the right stick is going to be responsible for controlling the right side of the robot. So if I put both these sticks forward, the entire robot's going to move forward. And if I pull both of them back, the robot's going to go back. And if I put one positive and one negative, or one forward and one backward, this side is going to go forward and this side is going to go backward, resulting in a turn. And I can do the opposite of this to turn the other direction. So that is our driving code, and you can see that implemented in these two blocks right here. Again, our controller layout is blank here because we have more than one action we need to do sometimes, and this just gives us more precise control. So for example, I can set the velocity to exactly what I want instead of relying on the controller to just assign it some velocity, which is not 100% by the way. So if I were to click on any of these to make this go forward or backward, it will not spin at 100% power, just so you guys know. So I'm gonna clear this again. Let's go back. Okay, so here, when controller 1's axis 3 is changed, and you know the axis because it's highlighted right here. So axis 3 is going to be the left side, and the program here is a little bit messed up, but in our robot the ports are changed appropriately so that it actually controls the left drive and not the right drive. But this is just a mistake in the code. So this would actually be left drive that's turning. So what we're doing is we're actually setting the left drive's velocity to the position of the stick. So if I move the stick just a little bit, it's going to set the power to a very low amount, and if I move it all the way, it's going to set it to 100. And same thing in the negative direction. Here it says forward, but that's just so it starts moving, and I can control the velocity however I want, between negative 100 to go all the way back and 100 to go all the way forward. So these two blocks are responsible for our drivetrain, and again, axis 2 is the other side, and this is supposed to be the right drive. But yeah, you might notice we have all these other blocks here too, and these are just there. So for example, our X button, if we hold down the X button, what's going to happen is our flywheel is going to start spinning, and if we let go of our X button, our flywheel is going to stop. And it's not just going to come to an immediate stop. What we did here was we started the flywheel and then we set the velocity to 0. So what this means is there's just no power going to the flywheel, meaning it's going to gradually come down to a stop. And similarly, we have other buttons programmed to make our intake and intake rollers and our indexer motor, which we use to push the discs into the flywheel itself to spin however we want it to. So this is just another method of controlling your robot that I wanted to show. So you can use either this method, or you can directly set up your drivetrain in the devices panel and use your controller to map the settings for it. So yeah, thank you.